Hi everyone. So tonight we're going to review this Dr. Cheyenne Bryant interview with Pastor slash Dr. Jamal Bryant. Um, kind of been avoiding reviewing this interview, but I'm just gonna take a crack at it. I do want to say this to start. I am not an avid Christian. I was a Christian for a very long time. Currently, I am on my path of finding out what I want to do. So, anything that I say tonight may or may not offend anyone, but I just want to be honest in the beginning so that way we avoid certain comments that are unnecessary towards me or any of my opinions on this interview. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant has been known lately to be somewhat controversial, somewhat annoying to some people. Um, from my understanding, she is a life coach. I'm not too sure if she's an actual doctor, but we'll let's just go through this interview and figure this out because people just want to be known nowadays for their intellect, which is nothing wrong with that. But I want to be sure that I say this in the beginning before I go over this wonderful interview. All right, so let's bring this up really quickly. All right, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Yay. This is 56 minutes, so maybe this live will be no more than what, 2 hours at the most. So let's cross our fingers. This is how much it's going to be. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's go over this interview.
I've been engaged twice, caught off two weddings. My first engagement, I was the breadwinner. He had bread, but I was the breadwinner.
See, no. Girl, you lost me there. Oh, Lord, she was a pick me first. My Lord. Hold on. I need a moment. Hold on. I can't find what I'm looking for. All right. Nothing in my body, in my bones, will make me get engaged to someone who got no bread. That's nasty work to me. But let's keep going.
Second engagement, right? I was a breadwinner in the first relationship. I was a kept woman in the second relationship. So I got to experience both.
And you caught off both.
I caught off both ways.
Well, that's good. She learned her lesson the first time and became a kept woman the second time. Let's see.
The real essence of foreplay, meaning that I feel covered.
Yes.
I feel seen. I feel loved by the God in him, not the man in him. I'm proud that I'm not a divorcee. I'm proud that my decisions have brought me to a place where I am not a black woman statistic. I'm actually the anomaly. And I want to be able to lead by example.
You know, let's just hope Dr. Jamal Bryant does not, what's the one I'm looking for? Copyright my video. So I will be stopping a few times here and there. You guys can leave a comment down below. If you are wanting to join the conversation, you can. Let me see. I can try to add a link in the comments. If you guys want to join, you can. Let me know if that's something you guys want to do. All right. Oh, no, it's not here. Let me add that in the comments. If y'all want to join, you can join the conversation. All right, let's go. Let's keep going.
Hey, family, this is Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryant on the Let's Be Clear podcast. There's one thing in the world that everybody has been hurt by and everybody wants, and that's love. It is the word that the most amount of songs have ever been written and the most amount of focus for every poem. Tina Turner asked a question and nobody 30 years later have been able to answer it. What's love got to do with it? The cousin in my head has flown in.
Let's be more specific. A lot of people are not necessarily looking for love. They're looking for validation. People don't really know what love is or true love is. They look for validation. That's what they really want. Okay? All right? Let's be honest. Okay. All right.
In from LA. I absolutely adore her brilliance and her insight. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Welcome.
What's up, Dr. Bryant? Right? You got to be Pastor Bryant for
That's
tonight,
fine.
okay?
Yes, I'll be a registered nurse. You be the doctor.
I'm excited to be here, and I love that you have a platform that allows us to come on here and really give tips and tools and awareness to how do you shift a culture,
Yes.
but then more importantly, how do we shift as individuals so that that individualistic change or shift creates this ripple effect. And I always say I'm not here to be liked. I don't live in dogma. I can care less. I'm here to interrupt dysfunctional pathologies and intergenerational, street term we call it curse, clinical terms we call it dysfunctions.
Yes.
So that we can shake up our community in a way that pisses them off enough to want to make a huge, like the Bible says, swift change that creates just a paradigm shift in all of us.
Well, I like you. I like the way you think. I like the way you communicate. I like the way that you process. And my grandmother's from South Carolina. Every morning used to give us cod liver oil. Said it don't taste good, but it's healthy for you.
Come on.
John Maxwell said, if you want to be like, sell ice cream.
Hello.
And so thank you for doing the heavy lifting. No kid ever has ever volunteered for broccoli. Everybody wants ice cream, but thank you for giving us the vitamins that's necessary for the community. Doc, I read something this morning that messed me up. It said 48% of black women will never be married.
Mm-hmm.
Are we setting people up for failure, primarily in the church, that says if you keep yourself chaste, if you get your degree, get your education, go to the gym, drink 8 bottles of water, stay focused, don't play yourself low, then it's going to happen for you?
No, I think that the recipe to finding love is not looking for love. The Bible says it best that love is not enough to sustain a relationship. It's not. There's so many different moving parts and principles that play a role in it. I think the first principle is sense of self. I think we lack that in our Black community because we're in a household of single parents. And I don't want to just say single mothers because we do got fathers who are...
How do I say this? 48% of Black women, I want to read that statistics to get more details on that. It said 48% of Black women will not get married. And then he also mentioned about the education aspect. I don't think the issue of Black women not being married is a education issue. I think if both genders of our community would go to school, we wouldn't have such a problem. But more Black women are going to school than Black men are going to school. So in the masculinity realm, you know, we have men who feel smaller to their women based on the woman's accomplishment. Hence, they have ego bruise egos based off that. So they tend not to marry educated women because they can't compare. All right? It's not an issue. We just have to encourage more black men to go to school. That's all.
That's
Single
right.
fathers as well, and I want to recognize them. They're just as important. But when you have a duality of a child and a single parent, that child learns one way to be. I had a client in my session yesterday, and his wife was saying he puts the kids first, and we've been married. I think it was like on 17 years. I want to pull out. I want a divorce, and I don't like it here. And she said he's emotionally unavailable. And I asked him, I said, was your father in the home? He said no. I said, okay. He said, and my mom raised me to be independent. She raised me to have my own, and she raised me to not be weak, right? To be okay with pain and to be able to get through those things. I said, no, your mother raised you to be able to protect yourself the way she had to protect herself for being a single mama.
Wow.
She didn't raise you to be a husband.
Yes.
She raised you so that you would be able to fight the war that she was currently fighting while she was raising you. And so as a man, what you did was you became equally yoked to where she was in that season of raising you. So now that you have a wife, your wife had to be equally yoked to your mama's season. And so in this marriage, your wife is now a mommy's role.
Yes.
Not in mothering you,
Yes.
but in having to be emotionally
Yeah, because the boy was babied, and now he doesn't know how to become more of a man. That's why his wife is babying him. The last thing a woman would like to put themselves in is the mummy role to their men. And this is how you lose respect in a relationship, and you start having troubles, and it's just a domino effect from there.
fulfilled and emotionally homeless. So y'all have a house that's homeless emotionally.
Yes.
And because you didn't have a father, you're overcompensating with your kids, but you're still in the role of father and the role of son. You've never resumed or presumed the role of husband for 17 years. And he looked at me and he said, yo, Doc, you spitting.
Yeah.
And I love that.
17 years of babying a man? Oh my God. 17 years of you never being a leader in your household? Whew, I had to pray for that wife, wherever she is. Girl, get up. Girl, get up.
Because he was able to be himself. And I said, okay.
Yes.
And the wife looked and she just, tears rolled down her eyes. He looked at her and tears rolled down his eyes and he said, you onto something. You right.
Yeah.
Of course tears gonna go down her eyes because she's finally being seen. She just got validated. Remember that word I said earlier? People are not looking for love. They're looking for validation. She feels validated because she's been carrying this load of being a wife and a mother to her husband. I'll be crying too, like, oh, finally somebody sees me. Lord, please, somebody sees my cries, Lord. I have to carry this man this whole time for 17 years. Girl, we're only 5 minutes in, and I'm already tripping. 17 years. My Lord.
Yes.
And so why am I saying that? Because we have to be able to identify with what we've learned in the house, which is learned behavior. We have to identify what part of that in us is showing up in adulthood, because that part is still the little boy, the little girl in you.
Yeah.
And relationships have no place for children who don't have insight. And then we have to start to detach from the bosom. Detach from the bosom. We got folks who are married at 50 years old, even 60, who are still attached to the bosom subconsciously, not because they want to be.
Yes.
Pastor Brian, not because they're saying, I just want to be a child and I want to be attached. They want different. But we continuously talk about the fantasy, the ideology, the fairy tale of what marriage is.
Yes.
When we go back to the church, why are we not talking about the difficulty of Jesus carrying his cross? Why are we not talking about the difficulties of Sarah not waiting for God to keep his promise, which he did anyways after the maid got pregnant? She let the maid get pregnant with her blessing because she was too impatient to wait. So we're not talking about the real adversities of wise counsel when it comes to marriage. Isn't about telling y'all how to be happy or telling you how to have good sex or how to facilitate the good days. Wise counsel is when it gets swiftly, when it gets funny, when the tides get rough, how do you stick through that?
No, that's good.
What does that look like? And what is commitment?
Yes.
Commitment is doing what I said I was going to do regardless of how I feel. How can I stay in this with you until the love comes back, until the light comes back, until I'm turned back on by you?
Yeah. 100 Black.
Why do I keep saying every time I stops? So commitment, they see it as duty, right? No matter what happens, it is my duty to stay here with you because I married you. I want to be very clear about that. Being committed to someone, meaning that you are choosing to stay with someone. It is not a requirement to stay with someone. You are making that personal choice daily to stick through with that person. You will make tough decisions for sure, but never underestimate your choices. Everyone has a choice to stay or leave. You do not have to stay just on the base of commitment or duty.
Man uses as his motto, you can't be it until you see it. How do you coach a couple who neither the husband or the wife had an example of marriage?
Love that. I always say I don't coach or teach people how to be married. That's God's job because He's the covering. He's the covenant.
Yes.
He'll teach that. I teach people how to get a sense of self, how to learn how to be out of their trauma within themselves, how to identify what healthy parts or trauma parts are present in that relationship. How do they rectify, resolve, and heal those things? Because as they become better, the marriage becomes better collectively.
Yes.
We can't tell two people how to matrimony. We can't tell two people how to relationship, how to commune. We can help them individually how to get out of their own way, bring resolve, gain emotional intelligence, gain compassion, right? And how to process those tools and apply them in this marriage.
No, that's powerful. There's something that's trending, Dr. Bryant, that I wanted you to speak to all over Instagram, all over TikTok, is this vignette that people are doing on the wife saying to the husband, I can't help but to rent this month. And the husband invariably saying, no, you will never pay it. I want to know, especially in this souring economy, what does that do for a team?
I do want to make a note of this. I truly don't believe in marriage counseling. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. Because of exactly what she just said. A marriage is an institution of two people that come together. The key here is coming together. Each of you make up the marriage. So that means the marriage doesn't happen unless both of you are well. The marriage doesn't work unless both of you work together. So if each of you are traumatized individual, or if each of you are having your own personal demons, it will never work fully. It will never truly work between two grown adults in a marriage. And I want to be perfectly clear with this because I don't see how marriage counseling is going to help if both of you guys are trash. Each of you needs your own personal therapy. I truly believe that. The issue with this is men don't like going to therapy. There's a stigma that men don't like therapy, and that will always be a problem. So if men don't like going to therapy, but the women are willing to go to therapy, you have an imbalance there. That's why marriage counseling doesn't work, because each of you need therapy. So if one person is willing, the other is not necessarily willing, it's a waste of time. It is absolutely a waste of time, because one of you is more willing to keep the relationship going. A lot of men, this is something that men needs to fix themselves. This is not for women to do. A lot of men have an issue with opening up and being vulnerable. And that is something that you guys have to figure out how to open that up. I'm not a man. I can't tell a man to be a man. However, I can only speak on my observations of how men act when it comes to therapy. Maybe another man can help you figure out how to become more open to therapy. But in a marriage, as Dr. Cheyenne Bryant just said, is like she doesn't really help with marriage counseling, because she helps the individuals. Because at the end of the day, if each of you become better human beings, then you're more likely to become a better partner to your partner. And also, you might also end up realize that, you know what, my healed version of me doesn't pair up to this particular husband. You might have that awakening and like, wait a minute, maybe I'm not meant to be with you. Maybe we're just not meant to be together. And that's okay sometimes, you know. If my healed version need a particular person, even if my husband in the relationship also went through therapy and he became a little bit more healed, we both will come up to a situation where we will realize, okay, maybe we're just not meant to be. And that's okay to not be meant to be with your husband. And you start from zero, but at least you know that like you give it your best and you went to therapy and you know what's going to work for you. And sometimes my therapy may be faster than your therapy as my husband. You know, I might get healed faster than you, and you might have more trauma than me, or I might have more trauma than him, and he might leave me alone, and I may have more work to do, and he may, divorce me, and that's okay too. The path is not linear for both of us in the marriage. So I can see how each of us would need to have our own individual therapy. Guys, if you're just tuning in, I'm reviewing this interview between Dr. Cheyenne Bryant and Dr. Jamal Bryant, who's also a pastor in Atlanta, Georgia. You can comment your viewpoint in the comments or in the chat. I'll be happy to read them if you have any feedback. Let's continue.
We've come to agreement, hey, we want to get this house, but it's going to take both of us to get it done. It is almost doing a 1950s portfolio. There's only the man that's doing it. Does it cheapen the value of that team or that husband if they're both putting into the mortgage? Or are you of the mind that just the husband should do it?
Women can say what they want to say, but the truth of the matter is, Pastor Bryant, that when a man doesn't do the nucleus of what he's built to do, which is provide, provision, protect, yes, a woman naturally, organically loses some type of respect in the form of value for that man. I've been in my field for 17 years, and I've also been I've been engaged twice, caught up 2 weddings. My first engagement, I was a breadwinner. He had bread, but I was the breadwinner. My second engagement, right? I was a breadwinner in the first relationship. I was a kept woman in the second relationship. So I got to experience both.
And you caught off both.
I caught off both weddings.
You a runner, you a track star.
I'm a runner, I'm a track star.
So, tell me why you keep cutting them off.
The first one I cut off because although my father was a street dude who made a lot of money in the streets, and so I was always well spoiled financially, he didn't raise me to look for a man for money.
Yes.
Right? Street term. He didn't raise me to be a gold digger.
Yeah.
He raised me to find a man of good character, to find a man who looked, smelled nothing like him. Right? And so I found a man of good character who was faithful, who was loving the boy next door. He was an athlete. He just was a good man.
Yes.
But he had no work ethic. And so as I'm in this relationship trying to navigate, I would call my father constantly and say, although I'm not denying him of my body, right? Although I'm trying my best to still show up in my best form, it's causing an internal struggle because I'm winning the bread and yeah, he's domesticated, but this is not the role that feels natural for me.
Yeah.
I don't like it. And my father kept saying, but he's a good man, baby. He's a good man. This man is faithful. This man is loving. But this has come from a father who was a...
Ooh. Oh my Lord. See, that's the problem right there. See, the dad was trying to make her into being a pygmy. And that's the worst thing he could have did to her. Because as she said, the men that she was with did not have the work ethic. And a lot of time, some men don't have the work ethic, you know? Like her dad was a hustler. Like she said, he was a street nigga. So with him being out here in the streets hustling, he had that hustler mentality. He had a go-getter, that active, you know, like he get active, you know what I'm saying? So she was spoiled, meaning like he was trapping so bad, like he had enough money to what she was spoiled as a daughter. So for some reason, he wanted her to have a different type of man than him. But here's the problem with that. He wanted for her to have a different type of man, not realizing she needed the exact type of man that her dad was. The only difference is the dad is in a different work industry. She needed to have a man with the same work ethic and the hustler mentality that the dad has, except with a more legal job. You know? So I think he did her a disservice by trying to make her turn into a pygmy, like, okay, sweetie, I want you to find a man not like me. And that's exactly what she did. She found a man not like him, even though he's quote unquote a good guy. But how much of a good guy are you if you're not active? You know, if you're not a go-getter, if you're not a hustler, like you just basic. And I think that's what she had an issue with.
Great father, Pastor Bryant, but a womanizer. So he's looking at it from a protective space of, my daughter's not what they mean. She's not what the womanizer.
Right.
But I'm also not
dimension of him.
that dimension. But I'm also not with the other part of you, Daddy, who's a provider. So for me, it didn't work. So I left that relationship because I stayed 6+ years, and while I was there, I got 4 degrees. He did.
Period, sis. Not only, wait, hold on. That man was useless, honestly. Let me say that. Okay. 6 years, you were the breadwinner and you went to school? Oh, girl, you were not happy at all. What's going on?
Didn't even transition into work or a career.
Yeah.
And I stayed, listening to my father. He's a good man. Savannah, he's a good man. And then Savannah grew up and said, Daddy, but he's a lazy man.
Yeah.
And because of that, I'm not wanting to be the breadwinner. I'm leaving.
I would get tired too. 6 years, you're the breadwinner, and you went to school and got 4 degrees? I like to assume that she was double majoring, because that's a lot of school. And you're making the money too? That man lazy. Like, how he... No. How is a man just work? And that's it? This lady had to work and make more money than you and go to school. You know how much of an effort it is to go to school? Studying every night? She got 4 degrees? That means she probably double majored. That's how it sounds like. Double majored in a bachelor and double majored as a master's. Ain't no way. Yeah. It has to be, because that's 4 right there. Girl, you better than me. Stay with that man because your dad convinced you. See, that's the problem right there. Y'all let him people put you through the ringer. My Lord.
Let's put the hazards on before you get to that second one.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people choose
Come on.
and say, okay, I know they're not making the money, but they're faithful. Or, hey, I'm going to turn a blind eye because he's making this money.
And he paying the bill.
Yeah, yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't lower the standard. You didn't sit at the bar, you raised it.
Period.
Yeah.
Because when I left, I gaslit God so bad.
Woo!
I gaslit God so bad. I said,
Wow.
how could you let me stay in a relationship that long, knowing the kind of man that I want and the kind of man that I deserve? I told God I'm faithful. I'm faithful to the man. I'm faithful to you. I'm a praying woman. I come from a good family. I've saved myself in so many ways. I'm not promiscuous. I don't believe in casual sex.
Yes.
You know, I don't even date casually. And then you send me this joker. Not I'm saying he's a joker because you were a good man, but I'm saying you send me this joker
Yes.
who just won't even provide. I come from a daddy that provides.
Yes.
I come from a grandfather who paid all the bills. The men in our family were providers. And you send me this. So when I gaslit God, he spoke to me and said, it felt like he was looking at me because he spoke to me and he said, there's qualities in you that won't allow you to have the man that you're praying for. You're too insecure for the man that you want. You want a man to pay the bills, but that man can't always be present. You want a man who moves in a certain way, but you hold a tight grip on him.
Yeah.
Because of your abandonment issues.
Yeah.
You want a man who's alpha, but you the alpha. You want a man who wear the pants, right? But you wearing a man taking them off.
Yes.
Yeah, but like you had no choice but to become alpha because you were dating a beta. Like, what's going on? What do you mean, ma'am? God did not tell you that. God did not tell you that, ma'am. God didn't tell you none of that. Your subconscious told you that. That's who told you that. Your subconscious mind told you, like, girl, what you doing? You are way advanced than the man that you with. That's what told you. God didn't tell you that. I don't know why you were talking to God, blaming God for keeping you in that relationship. You stayed longer than you should have because you listened to your daddy. Don't blame God for this. You listened to your daddy. You listen to your father, manipulate you to let you think that it's okay to stay with a man just because he's a decent man when you're not fulfilled. You're not fulfilled at all. You were unhappy for 6 years. Okay, give and take 5 years. The first year was probably all right. And then you realize you were making more money than him. And you were also going to school, got 4 degrees during that relationship. That's crazy. That's crazy talk right there. Yeah. So I like to assume, 6 years, give and take 2 years, let's say from 20 to 26. So at 26 years old, you're now about to be single. And you have 2 degrees. 4 degrees. You have your master's at 26 years old. What else?
And I said, well, what does that look like? The women in my family are very domineering and they're very dogmatic and I don't know what that looks like. And I promise you, when I said, what does that look like? God started to line up women who became optics for me, who were in relationships with men who were taking care of them, financially providing for them, right? And good men. And I started to really observe them and learn, okay, wait a minute. What does submissive look like? What do these men really need in these women that I am not obviously carrying? Because I don't understand. To your point, if I don't see it, I couldn't be it.
Yes.
And I didn't see it. So I started to study these women. I started to pray and I said, God, okay, you send me good men. Let me just pray to be a good woman. Y'all watch out for that prayer. So when I started to pray to be a good woman, boy, God said, all right, you ready? Buckle up. And I even got more men.
Here's going to be the next problem here. So she said in the beginning of this, she was the breadwinner in the first relationship, and then she became the kept woman in the second relationship. Right now, at 40 years old, I think she's 40, she's going to do a 50-50 relationship, and she's going to hate it. Watch. She gonna hate it. She's gonna, lower the bar, and she gonna start doing 50-50, and she gonna hate it too. I promise you.
At God, because of the Moses journey he put me on to become this good woman, it stripped so much of me that I started to grieve the parts of me that were being pruned, and I had to become fearless to the parts of me that were starting to evolve and mature in me. So then I met my second fiance.
Wait, before you go to that one. So the first one you was with for 6 years.
About more like 8 years. Yeah,
8 years. Okay.
All of my 20s until I was.
I knew it. I knew it. I said give and take 2 years. Boom.
30. I didn't until I was 30.
So
30 years old. So she took off 2 years. So she was about 20 years old when they met. They met in college. So about 8 years, she was there till 30 years old. So at 30 years old, okay, two relationship. Good job.
the therapist suggests it takes a man 175 days to figure out if a woman is
175 days. Hold on. 175 days. What? That's like 6 months, right? 6 months to know. Amen. I be telling women it doesn't take more than a year for him to know if you're the one. It doesn't take 10 years, sis. You could have been married. Your subconscious mind kept telling you he ain't the one, but you didn't leave. I'm assuming because you love him. Yeah, that's what it was. You didn't want to leave. And it's okay. It's okay. Most people don't want to leave either. Because they get comfortable. There's this Haitian song called Habitude La. Habitude La. Habitude La. Which means habits, right? The song is called Habits. And you get so used to someone and you don't want to let them go. And that's fair. Because life is hard, being single and whatnot. And 8 years is way too damn long, though. 8 years is way too long. I'll tell you that.
is married material.
He figured that thing out in about 2 weeks because he was ready.
Okay. So why did it take you so long?
Yeah. Because of what I now teach against. I seen potential. And although my father is extremely wise counsel in a lot of areas, that wasn't wise counsel for me in the relationship department to stay because my father.
Period. I'm glad you know that. I'm glad you woke up because, girl, no. Your dad ruined you. Your dad gave you terrible advice to stay with a man just because he's a good man and he is lazy. Your dad made you waste 8 years. 85 years. You know that Rose meme from the Titanic? It's been 84 years, girl. 7.5 years too long. That's what happened. 7.5 years too long. That's what happened to you. What happened to you? Too long. What happened to you? Too damn long.
Father seeing safety. And I'm not a safe woman. Meaning I'm fearless. I don't need safety.
Yeah.
I want what I want.
You were celebrating through the yellow light.
Hello. If whatever I want comes with a price, I'm a big dog. I could pay it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. And I'm not afraid of debt. So whatever I got to do, run the play.
Yeah.
But I want what I want. And so the counsel that I thought was wise to me was, but also that first relationship, my fiance at that time said, I'm a buffer for you. He said that to me. He said, I'm a buffer for you. And he mimicked what God said after he had already said it. You're too insecure for the man you want. So you got me. And I thought, how as a man can you say that, still want to marry me, and you feel like you're my buffer? I mean, how, two flip sides, right? How in love or loving of me do you have to be to say, I will facilitate you while I let you buff on me to become equipped for what you really want? I'm not built like that.
No, me neither.
You let me know I'm a buffer. I'm a buff on up out of here.
Oh yeah, no,
Real quick.
I'm Dodge tough. I'm a Ram truck. No.
Hello, I stayed because there was potential in this young man that he never reached. And I tell women this all the time. Potential will leave you with potential. Period. People are who they are.
Amen. That's the word right there. Don't be with no man for potential. That's how you get lost in the sauce. That is how you get lost in the sauce, okay? Don't be with no man for potential because it doesn't leave you anywhere. It is a waste of time, okay? It is a waste of time to be with a man for potential. It is a complete waste of time. Completely waste of time.
And there's a big chance that whoever they are will be who you're with 5, 10, 15 years from then. So if you don't like who they are, don't stick with the potential.
Okay, hold on now. Hold on. That's fine in your 20s. But we got to go back there because what social media is doing is people want 8 years is too long. 6 years is too long. But sometimes you got to meet people at potential and grow with them.
No.
So let me challenge that. Because God says my thoughts are not your thoughts and my ways are not your ways, and I'll meet you where you at.
Yes.
God meets people where they're at.
Yes.
Because his thoughts are not your thoughts. His ways are not your ways. I'm not God. I'm made in his image. So I don't have to meet you where you're at. All I have to do is be where I'm at and make the best decision for where I'm at and where we can build together. That
Okay,
means
I'm
that
with
I
you.
don't have to be in your potential.
Yeah,
Now,
well, how are we growing together? How are we growing together? Let's say we going in the Michael J. Fox time machine.
Okay, let's do it.
We in the DeLorean right now. So we going back to 22.
Yes.
We both 22. We just coming out of college. We both got student loan debts. My potential says that I'm going to be an emerging entrepreneur. I'm going to move, but everybody wants the finished product. Nobody wants the crock pot.
At 42.
Yeah, I'm dealing with your 20s.
22.
Yes.
So at 22, it's age appropriate.
Yes.
If you're 22, if you're 25, I think even if you right at
28.
Right, if you're below 30, if you're below 30
yes.
and you see potential in somebody, then yes, you can bank on that.
Yes.
Or you can pray on that. But potential isn't somebody who you are clothing with the idea of what you want them to be, but you see them making no type of actions or moves in that direction. My guy, with all due respect, he was very lazy, meaning when I left at 8 a.m. to go to school and I had 26 units per semester, he was sitting on the couch.
26 a
26
semester.
students a semester. When I got back,
hold on.
Yeah.
26 credits per semester? What was you on? Were you on crack? Were you on crack, man? That's a lot going on. That is a lot of school. That is a lot of school. 26. She was definitely double major. That is double major material. 26 credits per semester. That is definitely a lot. How do I say this without sounding rude? So she said this boy was lazy. I want to be perfectly clear. You know, I have an accent. I want to be perfectly clear. Being with someone who has potential is only reserved if the person is under 25. That is all. Under 25 years old, that is where you look for potential. Anytime you are above the age of 25 years old, you should no longer look for potential. you should look for experience. What does your experience look like? What have you been doing between the age of 18 to 25 years old? That is about 7 years right there. Okay? 7 years for you to grind it out, get your work history in, get your school in. Like the first 4 years is mostly school. Okay? You should be in debt, student loan debt, whatever debt you have, right? Show me you did something for the first 7 years of you being an adult. All right? And after the first 7 years of being an adult, the next 7 years from 25 to 32, what did you do professionally from 25 to 32? Did you grow from being an entry-level employee all the way down to being a full adult? Did you get into supervisor? Did you get to management at some point? Did your income increase? You know, what did you do? Did you have a family? Did you get married? That's 7 years right there. What happened? Okay. And then the third set of 7 years, the 32 to 39 years old, right before you hit 40s. Where is your income? What have you been doing for the past 7 years between 32 to 39? That is the last phase of the sevens, okay? At between 32 and 39, we can no longer afford to ask men for what they've been doing, which is not growing. There's no longer potential. Between 32 to 39, I need to know that you have experience under your belt. There's no room for potential anymore. You have grown. You have passed 14 years from when you turn 18 to 25 years old. That is the time frame for you to learn about yourself, start getting some jobs under your belt, start acquiring some skills, some personal development skills, some sales skills, whatever the skills are. That is the time. Okay? Anything above 32 to 39, baby, you are an adult at that point. That age group is you should know yourself a lot more than what you've known in the first 7 years of you being an adult. You should know yourself completely more than what you were between 17 and 25 years old. Ladies, stop looking for potential. Potential has finished at 25. There's no room for potential anymore. The only room that there is now and moving forward is what has your experience history looks like. Can I apply your experience history to my history and calculate, will you apply that same history moving forward? How does your past history determine, like I'm hiring for a job. This relationship is a hiring contract. Does your past experience make you an exemplary partner in the future? Can I judge your past experience to see if you're going to be a good fit to be in my company, to be in my presence? That is how we have to look at relationship. What has your past experience brought you here? How can I take what you've done before in previous relationships, in your work-life balance? How have that brought you from then till now? And do I trust you to keep that same energy for the next 7 years? Will I be disappointed from 39 years old for another 7 years to 46? will you get better at 46 years old than at 39 and at 32 than at 25? Will you improve? Did you improve? If you did not improve between 25 to 32, I don't trust that you will improve from 32 to 39. So ladies, stop getting with men for potential. Potential is over at 25. Look at his past history, his past experiences to determine, will he be a good fit?
Sitting on the couch in the same spot. He may have cleaned up a little bit and made sure we had a meal.
Yes.
But at 22, I didn't know what I know now, that it wasn't his potential I was banking on. It was my ideology that I sold him with that I was banking on him becoming. And I thought because I was so ambitious and I was moving and grooving 26 units, I'm running a mobile legal company, I'm making $300,000 plus some years. At 21, 22, I'm owning, I have a whole real estate portfolio. I'm driving luxury cars. You know, I'm doing these things that I felt like, how can he not be an observation of me and not Annie up? That is not how it works.
No.
What's in you is in you. And I activate and water what's already in you. I don't give you nothing.
On one side.
Period.
Two things. One,
Period. We cannot motivate men to be something that they're not. If he's if he's a lazy bum, then he's just a lazy bum. We cannot force something into a man that he will never be. We just can't. We just have to accept that. We just can't. And that's okay. In the long run, that is okay. We cannot make men more than what they are. And that's the sad thing about this. We just can't. We just have to accept that they're just who they are. We can't make them hustle more. We can't make them be more go-getter. I don't know. We just can't. If it's not in him, it's not in him. I promise you, this pastor gonna be like, but we had to motivate him. No.
tell my staff, you can't teach initiative. You can't.
Ooh, I like that word. That's what I was thinking about. You cannot teach initiative. You just can't.
You got to have it on your own. The reverse of that is if the man has that drive, a woman who is his partner will gravitate to it. But if it's the other way around,
talk to him.
Yeah, the positive only works with a negative with a car battery. It does not happen with relationships. You got to bring that positive, two positives together to pull it all the way up to get to the next level. CEOs who go to different corporations, move around, they're going to take their secretary. The secretary ain't got 6 degrees, but she got the initiative to do forward thinking. Hey, Dr. Bryant, I know you got a flight today, so I sent your driver to go pick you up lunch. It's forward thinking.
Yes.
So being equally yoked doesn't mean you making 300 and I'm making 300. Equally yoked is both of us got to drive to get to the top of our field, the top of our area, and we're lifting as we climb.
And that benefits us.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. Because with the whole notion of what do you bring to the table is just make sure it ain't just a fork.
And I
Because
love
I don't
that.
want you eating on my plate.
And I love that because I also believe I can't tell you what I'm bringing to the table until I take an inventory of what you need at the table.
Listen.
I think it's not about me bringing what I'm going to give you.
Yes.
It's about, in a relationship setting, baby, what's missing from this table? Let me see if I have it. Because if I do, it's yours. Because what if I bring and double down on what you already have there? We don't need 2 mashed potatoes. We don't need 2 king chairs.
No.
We don't need we may need 2 bottles of wine.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But we don't need 2 of something.
Yes.
So I always try to teach the tool to my men and women when I'm in session or speaking. Let's not try to come in with these preconceived, this is what I got, this is who I am.
Yes.
How about, baby, what's missing that I can add to it?
Yes.
What has always been missing from your table? Because if I got it, I want to bring it. And you may need to bring less than you even think you do, or more.
Or
But take
different.
inventory, or different.
Yes.
But take inventory, because at the end of the day, if this table is ours and we commune here, then our job collectively is to make sure that this table goes without deficit. And at that point, after I choose you, I trust you, I shouldn't be taking score of, did he bring the potatoes? Did I bring this? Was it $5 or $10? It's baby, I'm in this. What's up? What we bringing?
And do not bring to the table flatware to Negroes who are used to plastic utensils.
Oh my God.
Because they won't even know how to.
Wasn't that something? Wasn't that something? I like that. Don't forget. Don't forget. Don't forget. I like that right there. Yeah, so some people are just gonna stick with the plasticware versus regular dinnerware. Because it's just not worth it. Commingling is just not worth it sometimes. Funny enough, a woman can level up, but it's rarely done to see men level up. You can teach a woman to level up. But half of the time, due to some men being so stubborn, they just don't level up. They find being at the level they are. It's hard to bring a man up. It's hard to make him, there goes that word again, initiative. It has to be in them. Otherwise, it is a waste.
Appreciate my late grandmother on Saturdays used to polish her silverware because she was just so proud of. They don't even make china closets no more. So it's the mind frame of, is this table collapsible?
Right?
Does this table have an extension? And the difficult question nobody's asking, how many other people you got at this table?
Stop playing with me. Stop playing.
This is a table for two.
You speaking to a territorial woman now. Y'all about to get me fired up. I'm territorial.
Yes.
So not only is the table at home for two, the reservation better be for two, the flight better be for two, everything we do better be for two until I create a three. That's it.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow.
And that question should be asked on number one. I was talking to a guy for 1 week.
Yes.
7 days. I said, let me ask you something. How many other women are you talking to?
Don't do that. Ladies, I don't care. Don't you ever ask no man this dumbass question. I would never, ever ask a man that question, because you're going to get the answer you're looking for. He going to lie. He's going to lie. Lie through his teeth. A week in and you asking how many women he's talking to? No. No, ma'am. That's too much. That's too much. Don't worry about the other women. Just focus on you. Just focus on your relationship with that man. And if it's meant to be, the others will dwindle. Or you will dwindle because you realize you're not compatible. Don't do that. That's a waste of time. Because now you're putting too much energy into thinking about other women that he might be talking to. And the next thing you know, you become consumed trying to figure out, okay, am I in the lead or am I not in the lead? You know, how many women are on the roster? That is a waste of time, because your insecurities will start showing up after a while, because you start second guessing yourself, because you start thinking, oh my God, I'm in a lineup. Am I winning the lineup? And if you're not winning the lineup, then you start thinking like, am I ugly? Am I not pretty enough? Am I not sweet enough? And then you start vying for validation from him. And then at some point you might start acting in desperation because you want to be liked, you want to feel some type of validation from him, you start, what's the word I'm looking for? My Lord. I'll come back to it. I'm sure it'll come back to me.
How many of them?
This is date one.
This is day
week
7.
one. Week one. Yes.
Okay, day 7.
Yes.
Because we're long distance.
Yes.
So it was a lot of conversation. On day 7, I said, you're creating a space for me that is making me feel like I want to give more of myself. But before I do that, I have a question. How many other women are you talking to? And he said, none. I said, okay. I said, and before we move forward with me giving more of myself, and when I say more of myself, I'm speaking of my emotions and my time, not my body, at least not at that space. I said, I'm an access woman. So before you can access anything of me, my heart, my body, my mind, I'm going to need access to what I believe creates a safe space for me. And that is passwords to your phone. I don't need keys to your house. I'm not saying I need the password on week 1. What I'm saying is, are you comfortable with doing that when we get to that space?
But you're not asking that for week 1.
No. I'm not saying week 1, give me your password. Okay. I'm saying that when we move into that space, because now I'm feeling like I want to spend more time with you. I want to invest equity into this relationship.
Yes.
Equity for me in week 1 is time, conversation on the phone, and yes, you can fly me to come see you.
Yes.
That's equity for me.
That's fine.
Okay? But when we get to the space of now, this environment has become safe and my body is now feeling moved to want to be intimate with you.
Yes.
Or my heart is feeling moved to want to be committed to you. When we get there, I know that I'm going to ask for access. So I'm not going to set myself up to get there, ask for it, and then this is not what you're in alignment with, because the longer I stay, the more expensive it is for me to pull out.
So, yeah, but does that not bring to bear a presumption of guilt or absence of trust that at the door, I need a passcode?
With that,
but if I ain't give you no red flags, no flashing lights, the phone ain't vibrating.
Yeah.
I love this. No, so why do you come straight into the door like, hey, I got to trust, come behind you? Am I carrying what happened?
I agree with quite a couple of things she said, except for this whole phone issue. I don't like the desperation aspect with the phone issue. I understand feeling of being safe, knowing that your partner is not a philanderer, knowing that your partner is all about you. I understand that you would like to feel that way, but I also do believe that his actions should show you that he's a man that's trustworthy before you even need to bring up the factor of needing access. The access should already be there. The access should already be there and available for you. If he truly have nothing to hide, the phone would be available already for you to snoop through it. If he truly has nothing to hide, the phone would just be laying around just for you to grab and look at it. Because he's at peace. His phone is not like, if you're around a man and you are in close proximity to, like, let's say you are in his home, he's not hiding his phone. Like, the phone just sitting there on the kitchen counter and he's on the couch. That's how unattached he is to his phone, because he has nothing to hide. Like, he's so comfortable being around you, being with you. Like, he has nothing in his mind that tells him, oh my goodness, I have to do this. I have to. No, you certainly don't have to do anything. The moment you feel the need to try to get him to give you access to his phone, that's when you lose. Let him be comfortable around you to leave the phone around just chilling, because he's comfortable. If he's not the type to take his phone with him while he's in the bathroom, take his phone with him wherever you go. Like the phone is always next to him in his pocket. Like it's never out. It's never on the coffee table. Like it's never on the side table. It's never on the kitchen counter while he on the couch or while he in the kitchen. Like the phone is always with him. You have every right to not trust him. But you have to pay attention to the clues of when he allows you to just be comfortable, to just be anywhere with him, period. So I don't think this should be an issue at all. Absolutely not. So asking for access to the phone, I don't think that's necessary as a woman. But for her, as she said, she hasn't she has had abandonment issues, so I can see how she would like to feel that type of safety. To me, this just sounds like she needs more therapy in that sense, or some type of release factor to let go of what, she's been harboring for a long time. And ladies, I don't believe you need to do all of that for a man.
Happened with the last
I love this.
situation.
No, because both of my fiancés, knock on wood,
Yes.
was no infidelity that I know of.
Okay.
And I had access to phone, computer, Instagram, Facebook, bank account, and we lived together, so I obviously had access to our home. And I would navigate the phone, they would navigate mine, and we never, ever had a conversation about another woman or a man that had to create division between our relationship. I never left for that. So I'm not bringing in a, per se, redo to this new dating space. What I'm doing is saying, I'm not wanting your passcode so I can access your phone so I can see that you're cheating. I don't want to be broken, Pastor Bryant. I don't want to be dismantled. I don't want to be hurt. For me, that's a reassurance. And as the Bible says, love your partner by knowledge of them, well, I'm giving you knowledge of me. So if that works for you, then align with me. If it doesn't, let's pivot now. And there's no hard feelings.
But what I'm code is a breaker.
Oh, is it a non-negotiable?
Yes.
It is the passcode, access. Let me say it because I'm single and I'm in my choosing phase.
Yes.
And I'm choosing
And
my
I'm giving you no
husband.
reason.
There's not a reason. It's called transparency. I operate from a place of transparency, not honesty. Honesty means I have to ask you questions. I don't want a relationship with you when I have to drill you like an investigator. When you're talking about trust, an investigator has to ask you 500 questions to figure out what their clarity is that they're seeking. That's not the relationship I seek. I seek transparency. Transparency is, baby, I have a flight at 10 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
When I land, I have a meeting. And X, Y, and Z will be there. And I happen to still do business with the guy I used to date before you because he's in on this deal. He'll be there too. That's transparency. So you wouldn't have to ask me anything.
Yes.
For me, transparency is also, we are transparencing together. You have access to my body, don't you? If we get to that space, you have access to my heart, to my mind, right? To me, my heart, my mind, my body is more valuable than that punk-ass phone. So for me, if all I'm asking for is access to something that you have nothing to hide, that I'm not saying I want it to pick up and go through, because if I want to pick it up and go through it, Pastor Brian, guess what? I ain't got to ask for the password, because you know everybody can find that out. That's easy work. To find out a password, women find out passwords all day long. Let's keep it real.
Listen.
Do they not? Do they not? Do they not?
Yes.
Okay, so wait a minute. So is it not better to have a woman that says to you, baby, I'm asking for access because I never want to really, I'm not trying to pry into your privacy and sneak into your phone. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. Let me disclaimer, I'm not going to do that. So all I'm saying is I want access to it. Because being that I have access to it means that you've given me permission and authority.
But
Okay, hold on.
Yes.
And giving me permission and authority is the love language. Stick with me. It's the principle. It's not the password. It's the fact that you said, baby, here goes a key to my house, so when I'm out of town, you can leave when you want to. That doesn't mean I want to go run through your drawers and see what's in there. That means you're giving me access and authority to your home. That's a principle that opens up a space for me that's called a love language. I am not going to be in a bed with a man who can access my body that is priceless and I can't access a $89.99 or a $499.99 Samsung or iPhone because you think that's a breach of your privacy. You keep your $500 phone over there, and I'll keep my priceless mind, body, and soul over here. I have yet to have an issue with being in a relationship with a man, and I have been engaged multiple times.
Yes.
And I have in these 6 years said no to multiple rings because I refuse to get engaged again without going through with it.
Yes.
I have yet to have an issue with the man who's not a womanizer, who wouldn't say password. I don't care about that. Okay, so what? And this is the thing. If you need to do what you do, womanizer, and you want to keep a woman of my caliber, and you think you just that smart to do it, run the password, get another phone, and do it your way. But I'm not going to make it easy for you.
Yes.
If you want her that bad, get a phone for her. And keep that shit over there.
I'm with
But
you
you're
on
going
the
to
50
respect
yard
this
line.
space.
I'm with you on the 50-yard line.
I'm listening.
Where I'm throwing a flag on the field
I'm listening.
is that nobody would be giving you a key to the.
In the spirit of understanding transparency, I completely understand what she means by she wants to be transparent. I still wouldn't ask though. I just feel like it should arrive at that point in the relationship once there's trust established. There should be a point where your husband just allow you to go through his phone. No problem, you know? I don't think it's necessary. However, you can have the phone conversation without asking for permission to go through the phone, right? It could be a conversation of a simple question like, hey, how do you feel about us going through each other's phone? Are you comfortable with that, or do you believe in having your own personal phone for privacy? Then if the person say, yes, I believe in privacy, then I would ask them like, okay, what type of trust level do you feel like would be appropriate for us to get to the point where we both can feel comfortable leaving our phones around each other? This can mean, you know, I'll be more inclined if we're married after a while, or just give it time. You know, time tells all in truth. So when we think about having the privacy conversation, that's one of those aspects, okay? Being able to go through each other's phone. Now, in general, if this is a good and respectable man, usually they have nothing to hide. Usually they come off honestly in the beginning, and then usually they have no issue sharing the password anyway, because usually they just go along with it because the phone could just be sitting there because they have nothing to hide for real. Like if we date real men for real, they usually don't have their phone like upside down. They don't have their phone hidden. The phone just be sitting there. I think, you know, she may have dealt with some things like that make her feel some type of way about that. But honestly, I don't have those kind of problems with, you know, real men that you meet, because they just, if they entertain other women, they just entertain other women. But if you get to that exclusivity and you guys are together, you're living together, at some point you're gonna go through each other's phone. I don't know. I don't see it. I really don't see that.
The house the first week.
And
You asked this in the first 7 days.
Yes.
So in the
Wait,
first 7
clear it
days,
up, Pastor Brian, clear it up. I didn't ask for the password in 7 days.
Yes.
I asked that when we get to this crossword road of commitment,
I understood.
yes, of commitment,
Yes.
part of committing to me, just like there's commitment standards for you and other men, is access. Because when you commit to me, I'm giving you access to me. And if you can't honor and respect access to me, being a part of me, accessing everything that comes with you, then we don't have a commitment. And we are not operating from a space of what works for us collectively. Now we're operating from a space of what works for you. And there's a two-party relationship here.
I'm almost there. I want to be there.
You got 7 yet?
I want to be there.
7-yard
No,
line
we
yet?
at 55. We at the speed limit. It's a bump in the road. My question is,
Let me ask you this. Does your wife have your password?
yes.
So what are we talking about?
Yeah, my wife.
So what are we talking
Now,
about?
she didn't have it that first week now.
But
She
you
didn't have it. Listen, I wasn't just
did you
giving
have
out
it before
keys.
she was your before she was your wife?
Yes.
Okay. So now we're in the end zone.
Yes.
Now we're in the end
Yes,
zone.
for a
We
wife
drove
for
there.
sure. Have it.
So he caught the
Have the key.
So
Have the alarm.
Brady threw it.
Yes.
Mom caught it.
Yes. Yeah.
We good.
Okay.
You proving my point. Why did you give this woman your password?
Yes.
Why?
Again, the password is not my issue.
But
Doc.
is it because
My-
you
mine
have nothing
is-
to trust,
no.
or was it to reassure her?
I'm dealing with the timing. I'm dealing with the timing of those 7 days. So let's flip it on the man side.
Okay.
So if I said to you in the first 7 days, hey,
Hell no. Just playing.
no. Yeah, when I say, that you're going to give me your body, I say this to you on the 7th day.
Yes.
You calling the girls like, do you know what this Negro said to me on day 7? Like, he know he going to get it. I'm dealing with the time, not your principle.
Got you.
I'm with you on
So
the
let
principle.
me comment on that.
Yes.
Again, I'm not asking for the password on the 7th day.
Yes.
Just like if a man asks for my body on the 1st or 7th day, it would be red flag,
Yes.
this is bananas.
Yes.
Absolutely not. But if that man said to
Baby, it's still wrong that you're asking for that anyway in the first 7 days. That's why he's telling you, ma'am, this adulterer, this past adulterer pastor is telling you, ma'am, it's a problem to still ask for it in the beginning. It's still a problem to bring up the conversation, period. It's way too early to ask that to have the privacy conversation. Way too early. Maybe like 2 months in, ma'am. Maybe a month in. Like, give it time, sis. Like, what's going on? Like, why? It's still too early to have the privacy conversation. That's what this grown man is telling you, ma'am.
to me on day 7, I don't care if it was day 3. Listen, I'm not trying to access your body now.
Yes.
But there's certain things that I do like when that does take place.
Yes.
And I'm just curious if these are things that you would be open to if we were to even cross that road.
I got
Would
it.
I be offended by this man being in a place of maturity and transparency?
Yes.
I would be turned on that I have a man that can communicate,
Yes.
that I know would be vulnerable enough to come to me about his needs in the bed,
Yes.
and not outside of our house. And I would say, baby, you know what? When we get there, green light. We could run every play you want to. Or I will say, that's not my thing.
Okay.
He would be saving him and I a disservice of a distraught, unsatisfied marriage. We should be communicating more about who we are instead of trying to hide those things and looking at those things as a deficit. Whoever you are is exactly who you need to be for the right man or woman to align with that. Otherwise, you are in a relationship with some of the parts of you, and the parts over here, they're being hidden. When relationships and love is all about freedom, I'm here to be free. I'm even in this space on this podcast to be free with you.
And I'm grateful.
Right? And so if I'm in matrimony with the man, I want to be free in my
Take
full
it up.
capacity.
Be free. Be free.
I'm taking it all off,
Yeah,
baby.
be free. As a spiritual woman, you have a great knowledge of Scripture, strong relationship with God, incredible insight on the human mind, on relationships, all of that. We get to the 7th day, y'all talking about keys and bed and turn on. At what point, I'm asking you, at what point do you ask that man to pray for you?
Oh, I love this. Get out of my business, Pastor
listen,
Bryant.
you my cousin in my
Let
head.
me tell you what okay, so y'all heard, Doc say I'm dating, which means I'm still single, but I am dating and I'm talking to a particular guy who he's been praying for us and over us since day one.
Nice.
And I've been with praying men, but not to this extent. And it is the biggest turn on. It is the epitome of
Ooh, child. I was waiting for this right here. So let's get started, okay? I've been waiting for this part right here.
foreplay. And when I say foreplay, I'm not saying it makes me tingle down here and I want to jump in the bed with him. I'm talking about the real essence of foreplay, meaning that I feel covered.
Yes.
I feel seen. I feel loved by the God in him, not the man in him. And so he doesn't allow us to go to sleep at night without him praying over me or us saying the Lord's Prayer together. And I find that leadership. I find that to be the head of us.
Yeah.
And what it does is it inflames my submissiveness and my softness more than if he didn't do it. Something he did really unique. He was traveling out of town and he's at, a business meeting, he's closing deals, he's doing his thing, and they were having a post celebratory event at some like dinner restaurant lounge. And I was going to bed. It was already 11:30 at night. And he said, "Hey, babe, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm getting ready to go to bed." He said, "Well, let me know when you get in bed so I can walk out of this party that we're having to pray over us." I didn't have to ask. I was going to bed,
Right.
Pastor Bryant. This man said, "I'll walk out." And I texted. I said, "Baby, I'm ready." He walked out of that event, prayed over us,
Awesome.
said goodnight,
I like them
and then
already.
texted me and said, "Baby, I made it back to the room." So when you're talking about asking a man to pray for you, ladies, that ain't something you ask. That's something that man comes with or he does not. Leadership isn't you asking him to pursue leadership. Leadership is already in that man, and you know through the actions he takes with you. And you know when a man's covering you. Because when a man's covering you, when he's not in your presence, your nervous system is calm. When a man's covering you, he's not in your presence, your spirit isn't inflamed. If this man happens to go a little further than the time frame of the meeting, your spirit is still at ease. Because when this man covers you, it's not him covering you. You are covered by the God that he's serving, by the principles that he is praying on, leaning on, living in. And faith, God, and principles are action words. So a man can't be in God and not be actively covering you. It doesn't work like
Nice,
that.
heavy. My spiritual formation director said something that radically changed my mind in dating. Is that prayer is more intimate than sex.
Did you not hear me say that was my foreplay?
Listen.
And can I be really transparent?
Yes, yes.
This man praying over me. Listen, this is just, y'all know Doc be cutting up, so I'm cut up right now. Disclaimer. I literally had to call one of my prayer warriors. And Willie Mo Jr., you see him on.
I don't like how women just be taking the bare minimum of what men do for them in a form of some type of leadership and take it as gold. Sweetie, praying for you should not be a form of turn on. That is a weird statement. Just like Pastor Jamal Bryant said, you cannot teach a man to take initiative. However, anytime a man take the slightest initiative, y'all just be drooling at the mouth. Y'all just be foaming at the mouth at some type of small inkling of initiative. A man take it like, ooh, yes, daddy, oh my God. Oh my God, yes. Please get a grip. I beg of you, please get a grip. Why do y'all do this? No, like for real. Like, why do y'all do this? I'm genuinely concerned. I am genuinely concerned because why do you have this weird attachment style to having a man give you the slightest hint of leadership, initiative, and all of a sudden, like, y'all start getting wet, y'all start feeling yourselves? Like, what is up with that? What is up with that? Do you need help? Is everything okay at home? Is everything okay at home? Like, I really want to know, like, is everything okay? Do you need a hug? I want to give you a hug. Because praying for you is a weird statement for you to have it to be your foreplay. Be thankful that he's a praying man. Be thankful that this man is thinking about you and praying over you. Be thankful. But to go above and beyond and say this is a turn on because he's showing initiative, that is the lowest. Like, this is just as equivalent as giving someone coochie just because he opened the door for you. Bare minimum. Praying for you is bare minimum. Open the door for you is bare minimum. Bringing you flowers is bare minimum. That is nothing. Buying you a drink at the bar, bare minimum. Same level. Same level of effort. Praying for you does not take a lot of mental effort. It really doesn't, guys. Ladies, it really doesn't. So this statement saying like, oh my God, I gotta call my friends. Girl, won't you believe this? Jamal, pray for me, girl. Ooh, girl, he don't pray for you. Look at you. That man love you. Cause he prayed for you, girl. That's good. That man thinking about you, girl. He praying for you, girl. I love that for you. No, wake your ass up. Y'all be like giving the cootie cat for just any low ball effort. Praying for you is bare minimum, sis. Buying you flowers, bare minimum. Open the door for you, bare minimum. Taking you on a date, bare minimum. Buying you a drink, bare minimum. Buying you a gift card is bare minimum. Buying you a I don't know. Anything less than $100 is bare minimum. Period. Bare minimum effort. Stop thinking like you need to reward men for doing the most basic ass shit.
On my show, I said, Willie? And I called my bishop, Michael Berry. I said, I need y'all to pray my pheromones off. Pray them down, pray them off. And they said, Doc, that's unlike you, because they know I'm not into casual sex. Like, that's not like you. I said, it's been a year since I've done anything. I said, but boy, this man just been, I'm afraid he's going to pray my panties off. And I don't want that. I don't want that. But why? Because he's activating and awakening things in me that are connected to the intimate part of me as a woman. I'm not into casual sex, so dinner and trips, although I love those things, they don't activate me to want to be in bed with you.
Yes.
They may activate me to want to have a good time with you, but praying over me. And another thing is, when I do visit him, and we are in bed sleep or cuddled up, this, not just his actions but his energy, is not that of I want to be inside you. I don't feel that. When I get up to take a shower or I'm changing, he leaves the room to give me my privacy and space. I don't have to ask those things. That's a man who honors me, who's respecting my space. And so I say that to say a man's leadership is what he shows you. It's not what you ask him to do. And there's a natural way that women, no matter how alpha she may think she is, or how unsubmissive she has never been, that a praying man or a man of God, a real man of leadership, will activate things in you that have you fall more in love with yourself than he will when you come into your softness of being a woman. And for the brothers out there, if y'all want real intimate, I'm going to go there, freaky, nasty, off the wall, very satisfying sex,
Yes.
bring God in that thing first. No, I'm serious. Bring God, bring that woman closer to God. Bring that woman. And
that is such a weird statement. Like, what is going on? What is going on? That's such a weird statement to say. Oh my God, y'all. This lady said, bring God into sex and you'll have the nastiest sex ever. Oh my goodness. You know what this sounds like to me? This is just as equivalent to him choking you. You know that pull where like a man grab you by the neck and pull you closer to him? That same energy. She wants a man to pray before you'll have sex. You know what that means? It means that she gets turned on, that he takes initiative and that shows his masculine side, because taking initiative is a masculine trait. It doesn't have to be whether you are male or female. Taking initiative is a masculine trait. So by him showcasing some type of leadership, because leadership and taking initiative go hand in hand, right? They are synonymous to each other. So by him taking initiative, it shows some type of masculine trait in him, some type of leadership trait in him, and all of a sudden, like, that turns you on. Leadership turns women on. In general, leadership turns women on. That's why, like, when a man start acting so primitive, girls be like, ooh, yes, take charge, yes, 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 yes. But a part of taking charge doesn't have to bring God into it. I just feel like that's such a weird statement to say. If y'all want nasty, raunchy sex, baby, you can have nasty, raunchy sex without bringing God into it, okay? I feel like spirituality should be separate from sex. You can have nasty sex without praying before having sex. He can, I don't know, put a TV up or something. He can put some furniture together, shows that masculine side of like him using his left brain versus his right brain, because that shows that he's being more creative, he's being more active, he's, taking initiative, he's showing his leadership skills. There are other ways a man can show leadership skills and you could just get turned on. Sweetie, God, please don't play about God. Y'all be doing too much. Do not play about God, okay? Do not play about spirituality, because that is sacred. Granted, some of you will probably say, okay, well, having sex is spiritual. It is, if you do it with the right person. Because a lot of us be having sex without being connected spiritually with the person. So this is not just a 1 + 1 = 2. This is a situation where, like, you and your partner, if you are truly equally yoked, you should have a sex of the mind. Sex of the mind keeps you connected with the body if you guys are connected with the mind. Now, here's the problem with this. She is the one that turned on with the sex, with him praying before sex. He may not be, because he's the one praying for her. So he may not have any sexual tension attached to the prayer. He's probably just doing it because it makes him feel good to cover his wife. It makes him feel good knowing that he's protecting his wife, knowing that he's looking out for the well-being of his wife. But reality is, truly, she's attached to the action sexually, but he may not be, because he's just thinking, okay, I'm just doing this because I want to do this. It has nothing sexually charged about praying for your partner. I've always felt like that statement is just a weird statement. I'm going to replay it for you one more time, but I just feel like that's such a weird thing to say. Let's do it again.
When you come into your softness of being a woman. And for the brothers out there, if y'all want real intimate, I'm going to go there, freaky, nasty, off the wall, very satisfying sex.
Yes.
Bring God in that thing first. No, I'm serious. Bring God, bring that woman closer to God. Bring that woman. and implement his principles in her. And baby, you won't get her in the bedroom. You'll get God. And you know what God said? He said he can do exceedingly, abundantly.
The views expressed on this show today.
Then you can imagine.
Like that of our guests.
He will do exceedingly abundantly above all you can think or imagine. And so when you bring God into that woman's spirit, and y'all finally, I'm going to go biblically correct, after marriage,
Yes.
after marriage,
Sing
y'all
about it,
finally
girl.
do your thing.
Yes.
She will be exceedingly abundantly all you could think of or ask for. And it will be in a place of alignment and peace.
Yes.
And that's why I wait and I save my body, because I know that I don't want just a physical orgasm. There's other layers to that are way more satisfying than just an orgasmic physical experience.
A lot in this generation, Doc, don't know the difference between intimacy and sexuality.
Come on.
Can you unpack that? Because a lot of people really use Netflix and chill as a code word.
And Pornhub, I'm sorry.
Yes.
We just gonna keep it real.
Well, you have done it. You have done it today. You have done it today. I have had 2 asthma attacks with no pump, but help us.
We're gonna pray.
Yes.
Lord, we're gonna pray.
What is the difference between those two?
Intimacy and sex.
Yes.
Sex is an act. It's an oral act, a penetration act, it's a fondling act, and it brings your body to an orgasmic, finishing or completion. Intimacy has nothing to do with the orgasm. Will orgasm come emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically through intense intimacy? Absolutely. But intimacy looks like a 4-hour conversation about knowledge of each other. Intimacy looks like a disagreement of 2 people submitting, so it never turned into discord. Intimacy looks like, I talked about the gentleman that I'm talking to, praying over me when he's at an event with a group of people he could just stay, entertained with. Intimacy looks like, baby, did you make it home? Did you eat? Are you okay? Do you need anything? Intimacy looks like, I'm going to put my needs aside because I see you in a space where you need all of me. And so I'll choose to discuss this issue I may have with you another time. I check in. Intimacy also looks like when I'm not with you because I am truly faithful, truly focused, and truly aligned with you, that you have a calmness and a peace. And intimacy looks like what I just talked about, the epitome of transparency. For me, transparency is intimacy, because you're giving me a piece of you that I don't have to try to navigate. You're allowing me to see it. And this is one that a lot of people are very confused on. True intimacy is, no, I'm not responsible for carrying your hardships, your traumas, your deficits. But if I chose you, damn it, I'm responsible for facilitating you through it. And there's too many people that are saying heal and get over it and then come talk to me. Well, how about I don't want to talk to you at all? Because if you can't at least facilitate doesn't look like you got your toolbox out and you're trying to fix, because like Jesus and the disciples, we all got to carry our own cross. And even when Jesus went to the cross and got crucified, there was a whole audience. But they nailed him by himself. Okay? And he also was resurrected by himself.
Yes.
By God. Nobody was there to carry, resurrect, or do any of those savior things. However, facilitation, support is something that is very intimacy, the what do you need? And then showing up in that. I want to go further because people are going to be like, okay, Doc, that's cool. That's all the surface stuff. Taking a bath together. No sex. Because you both have what the Bible says marriage requires, discipline. To take a bath together and have a conversation. A little trigger over there? A little trigger?
I just got to couch this. I got to couch this. Don't take that bath until y'all get that word on
Until you
there.
get that discipline too. Discipline.
Don't do it.
Discipline.
You're going to make me lose my license. Listen, she's talking to married people, a different heightened level. Thank you.
And let me say this. I'm also talking to unmarried people. Because
Don't get in that bathtub.
if you
Don't y'all get in that bathtub.
listen, if you have the true essence of discipline,
Yeah, no, they ain't got it.
but there are some men that do.
Yeah.
And let me go further. Because a
They must
man,
teach Tai Chi.
because you're supposed to save your chai tea,
Yes.
which is really your sperm,
Yes.
until you're doing something that's productive,
Yes.
fruitful, and will multiply.
Get in the tub with a bathing suit on. Don't just get in there.
Let me say this, ladies and fellas. Let me say this, ladies and fellas. A man who could bathe with you and be disciplined enough to not touch you is a reassurance for you. I did that with a man. I did that with a man. Listen, I don't.
See, I don't think this pastor is done healing, because why he sounded like he's still out here cheating? That man said he's not strong enough for you to not touch him, or for him not to touch you. He's still outside.
Don't test it.
Pastor Bryant, okay.
Gentlemen, don't play with it.
Pastor Bryant is
You're going to mess up.
Listen, he talking to the low functioning men.
Hey, listen.
But the high functioning men who want something big.
She said he's talking to the low functioning man. That's because he is, sis. He hasn't learned yet.
Than the flesh, because you know that the flesh. He's talking into the low functioning men, but the high functioning men who want something more than just the flesh, because they know that's the cheapest part of a woman, but it'll cause you to pay the biggest price when it goes wrong.
Yeah, but don't go in that cold turkey.
Hold on.
Start meditation first.
Prayer, meditation,
prayer,
and yes,
focus.
and then definitely get your discipline muscle up. But I did that for 1 year because I was celibate for 2 years. I was dating a guy, and almost for about a whole year, we were bathing together, doing all the intimate stuff, nude together, sleeping together with no sex, no touching, none of that. When I say no foreplay of anything, and our intimacy was crazy. We never got to the place of intercourse, of sex. But it heightened our relationship to where sex became so overrated and so secondary for both of us that when we left our dating relationship, it actually enhanced and elevated both of us to a different place. When we spoke on the phone about a year ago, he said, the relationship with you, where I had to have discipline enough to be able to be intimate, but not sexually engaging, has helped me become faithful and committed to the woman I'm married to now.
Wow.
So what I'm saying, fellas, is preparation meets opportunity. And so you don't get a wife and then become faithful. Because at that point, it's too late. We're talking about preventative measures that prepare you for the woman you want. So yeah, if you want to pray and fast and meditate first before you think you can get in the bathtub or sleep in a bed nude with the woman with this discipline tactic, do so. But the point is, you got to be able to do it because marriage is for disciplined people. So when that woman cannot satisfy you and she's only at 50% or 70% or 30% some days, what is your discipline tactic you've already practiced to be able to sustain yourself in this marriage? I don't want a man who can't be in a bed with me naked because he's just,
Okay, so I get what she's saying is for him to have that discipline to understand that, like, you are more than just sex, you are more than just your bodily functions, and that you can connect emotionally. I applaud any man who can make themselves be more vulnerable, be more into their partner outside of sex, because if you're truly in a relationship, most men knows, like, once you get a woman to connect with you mentally, she's a done deal. The problem is men try to connect with her mentally through manipulation. That's the problem. It's not happening willingly. It's happening through manipulation. Most men do it through manipulation, and it's usually through sex. If you connect with her emotionally, mentally, without sex, then everything else comes into play because we connected, period. Excuse me. Sex is a bonus. It's a bonus. You know, a lot of men like to say, I want to trust my wife. I want to trust who I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. But trust doesn't happen just because. And a lot of times, like, men feel like they need time to trust. No, you don't need time to trust. You need intimacy to trust. And intimacy doesn't just happen. Intimacy happens based on you spending quality time together. This is why they say, they talk about the 5 love languages. A lot of times, people that mention like their top 2 of the love language are usually what they've been missing from their childhood, or what they never received, or they would rather, or it's 3 things. It's either what they were missing in their childhood, or they never have, which is either in adulthood or childhood, or it's the love language that they give to people because they never received it in the first place, right? So in general, you're supposed to have all 5 love languages, because that makes you a well-rounded individual. If you have all 5 languages, which is words of affirmation, you have to affirm your partner. Quality time, you need to spend time with each other. Physical touch, you need to be able to touch each other, whether general or sexually. You have to be touching, because we have 5 senses, and touch is one of the senses. Okay, you have to touch each other, physical touch. You have to have gifts. Gifts is where you show your appreciation to your partner by giving them something that they would like. Because as a human being, we interact with each other through gifting. Gifting is a necessary part of life. We gift each other all the time, for birthdays, for graduation, for important events in each other's life. We gift each other. So that's the human part of life, is to gift each other. And the last one is acts of service. When you like someone, when you are into someone, you do things for them, because actions speak louder than words. When you do for people, that means you care for them. So in all 5 love languages, as you keep going, this builds intimacy over time. So even if you take out sex, these 5 love languages will build intimacy between you and your partner. So when that doesn't happen, and men try to do it through manipulation, none of the 5 things I mentioned are manipulation. So instead of doing these 5 love languages, a lot of men use manipulation to get the woman to submit. And that's usually where the problem comes, because they don't do it the normal way. They do it through sex and manipulation. And that's how the woman feel like, oh my goodness, he's spending time with me, but yet the spending time he does with you is sex. Because sex is a spiritual act, and what women don't realize is the more often you have sex, the more you connect spiritually with that person. And if that person has a bad spirit because he's manipulating you, you will always have bad problems in the relationship, because he is evil. If the man you with manipulate you through sex, that means he has bad spirit. And the more often you have sex with him, the more his bad spirit within him going to spring onto the woman and latch onto you and bring drama into your life. This is how you have unequally yoked people.
On my bones, I don't trust you. And because the man that I'm talking to has shown, at least, to be so disciplined with me sexually, with me being, a very good looking woman and a nice body when I'm nude. When we're not together and he's traveling, I'm not thinking, well, he can't sustain himself for 5 minutes with me. What's going on when he's out of town? Mm-hmm. It's a reassurance tool that is really effective, really effective.
You've been on the show on witness protection about your dating. and who that is. No, really. And you are a very influential person in social media. I want you to say a word on when is the appropriate time to go public. Because you done talked about door number 2.
Lord have mercy.
7 times.
I know.
No name, no state, no identification.
No identification.
Yes.
Yeah,
And you could have very easily done that, but you intentionally are not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people
go public when you get married. And even then, I don't even advise a girl, don't go public. Just say you married and that's it.
jump out too quick. Yeah. They put in a Polaroid picture before they shake it off to make sure that the print has come out well. When is the right time?
100%. Well, in my case, because I'm such a big public figure, two different ways going to be the right time, because we're not keeping each other publicly private. So either when the blogs get to it, which is not the right time, but that would be the time that they exploit it, or when we're engaged and I have a ring on my finger. That's when I will personally be open publicly with it. It's not because I think it's not going to work. It's more because I want it to work in a way that doesn't have an outside influence. I always say, as long as, the water doesn't get in the ship, the thing is sail. And I think that people need to work on building their foundation first, right? Build your ship, like Noah did. Build your ark first before you start loading that thing up with different animals and people, even if they come in pairs, right? But build your ark and so that it can weather the storm. And don't be so quick to want to show you have somebody, because to me, that's just a form of codependency, because you're doing it for what? To get the validation. Right. I'm not a 42-year-old successful woman who is, without any kids seeking validation. And nor am I embarrassed about that. I am very, very proud that I waited. I'm very happy that I'm in a space where I'm, and with all due respect to the divorcees or anyone who is a single mom or a baby mama, baby daddy, I'm proud that I'm not a divorcee. I'm proud that my decisions have brought me to a place where I'm not a Black woman statistic. I'm actually the anomaly. And I want to be able to lead by example. I can pop my shit the way I do because I have not made the decisions that has bred me the results of the results I'm trying to change in our community. And that's what makes me powerful. It's not how do you talk about this because you haven't been married. I'm talking about it because I made great decisions. So I didn't become a divorcee. So I didn't become a baby mama. So I beat the statistics coming from a little girl from the hood who was a product of teenage parents, a mama who did the drug that my father sold. So adversity and trauma was what I was just bred. And it was innate, it was nature, it was nurture, it was in my environment. And because of that, I've seen things that I know don't bring results that most people want. I've yet to hear a person say, I waited all my life to be a baby mama. Your decisions created that result. And if I can use my platform to be disliked or loved or hated or adored, as long as somebody gets something that can change your life, that's my purpose. I can care less either way.
Bishop Dale Bronner said, when you're born, you look like your parents. When you die, you look like your decisions.
Well, let me tell y'all something. Based on that quote, if I was to die today, I'm looking damn good. I love my decisions. I want to say this, though. I'm not superior. I'm a product of teenage pregnancy. I was pregnant at 14 and 16. So I started off early, right? I had a boyfriend early, and we were obviously, sexually active early. I just happened to have what I always say is the most important piece to a woman's life, because a woman is what her daddy makes her. I had a father who said, not on my watch. You may hate me now, you'll thank me later. You're not having these babies. No. My mother and grandmother said yes. He said no. I went with the head, which is the leader. And that decision has brought me the results that I would have wanted to. How my life is right now, Pastor Bryant, is exactly how I would have wanted it if God would have sat with me and said, baby, let's plan this out together. This is exactly how I would have wanted it. Just like this. I wouldn't have wanted to be married any earlier because I would have been a divorcee. I know I would have. Not because a man would have messed up. I wasn't in a place where I would have been able to say, I forgive you for the small things. Forget the big. God forbid you cheat on me. I'm talking about the smaller things.
Right.
And I wouldn't have been able to say, I'm not leaving my husband. It was the opposite. If you do, then I'm out.
No,
So then don't even marry. Because this man is bound to have a deficit. And if I can't work through the deficit, then what am I doing here? And I want our community to understand you don't have to have a baby. You don't have to have sex. You don't have to do these things to date. You can date without all of that.
Yeah.
You can go to the movies and take a trip and take baths and travel. Put a bathing suit on if you want to, like Pastor Bryant said. But whatever you do, you don't have to go and make these long-term permanent decisions because you want to be able to be in a relationship. That's not a requirement. Just like I'm not required to be married at 42. I'm required to be happy and to be in God's will. And I'm doing both of them damn well.
I love all of it. Y'all listen, I'm going to take a shower with my wife. I'm getting out of here. I want to thank Dr. Bryant. You are absolutely a national treasure.
Thank you.
I'm telling you.
All right. So this was a good discussion. In general, she's made some valid points and some weird ones. So key takeaway from this is, well, number one, do not date for potential, because she made that mistake dating a guy for potential because he was a good guy and she was manipulated by her dad to stay with a man just because he's a good guy. So don't do that, because she wasted 8 years based on potential and it never happened. Pastor Bryant did say that it takes about 175 days on average for a man to know if you are marriage material. So that's less than 6 months, ladies. 175 days. That's about 6 months to know if you're marriage material. So anytime a man is dragging you more than 6 months to get engaged, just know he doesn't like you like that. Or he doesn't have enough money. It's either or. It's either he doesn't see a future with you, or he doesn't have enough money to take care of you and your family. So there's that. Second take away from this is, a lot of times y'all can be giving too many chances for people who are not going to excel in life. So again, Pastor Bryant did mention the whole don't bring your fancy silverware to someone who's used to plastic silverware. Plastic spoons. So if you're someone who knows that you are a different breed, don't try to take someone who's lesser than you and try to bring them up. It has to be the other way around. The person has to want it. The person has to want to level up for them to make sense, to be with you. It is harder to have a man take initiative, or force him to take initiative, or convince him to take initiative. He has to be the one with initiative built in. The man has to have it within him. You cannot force it out of him. You cannot pray it out of him. You cannot do anything to that man unless he has it in him already. You cannot create initiative in a man. You cannot create leadership in a man. He has to want it. He has to already have it, or he has to find another man to help him with that leadership skill. It is not up to the woman to help a man be more of a leader. You are not a man. He has to look for a male mentor to do that for him. Don't do that. This is why we don't do this is why you should not do anything like marry someone with potential or believe in their potential, because the potential may never happen. Once you, this is my key takeaway. I said this earlier into the live. I said anytime between the age of 18 to 25, the last 7 years are for you to build experiences. If you are over the age of 25, you should be looking at the man's history and past experiences to determine if he's going to be a good fit in the next 7 years. Other than that, it is a waste of time. Between the age of 18 and 25, that is how, if you are with a man and you guys are in that same age group, yes, you can deal for potential because you guys are in the same age group. However, anytime a man is over 25, between 25 to 32, Those 7 years, he should be working on himself to figure out what he want to do for the rest of his life. Okay? Between the age of 18 and 25, crash out. Do whatever you gotta do. Like, figure yourself out as an adult. Go to school, go to college, whatever. 25 to 32, grinding. He should be grinding like nobody's business. Between 32 to 39, he should be grown and able and ready. If a man between 32 to 39 doesn't have his own place, doesn't have enough money saved, he is a loser. And you should not date a loser who is in that age bracket. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. There's no more potential to look for if he's 32 to 39. He should already know who he is by that point. He should already know if he can do something or if he cannot do something. Between that age group, 32 to 39, he is an adult. If he's a loser at that age, he will always remain a loser by that age. Because he had 14 years between the age of 18 to 39 to get it right. And he did not. So stop wasting your time on potential for any minute in that age group. By the time he is 40, that is an adult man with skills that he should be able to use to become a husband or to be a husband. At that age, he should be husband material. If he's still a loser between 40 and 47, release him back to his mama. He is useless. Do not date someone like that who has nothing to offer you between that age group. He is useless. Let him go. At that point, he is a waste of time. Complete waste of time. Okay? At the end there, she went weird with the whole prayer makes you horny. Okay. What I got from that in the weird conversation was that anytime a man shows some type of initiative, whether it is as small as a prayer or as small as opening the doors, whether it's the car door, front door, back door, restaurant door, whatever door, or flowers, just the simple, meaningless, low effort acts of service that men do should not allow them to just get in your pants, ma'am. Y'all be rewarding men for doing low, bare minimum effort activities for no reason. Okay? There's no way someone praying for you should make you so horny you give him sex. That is not equivalent to sex just because he prays for you. You'll be giving these men so much opportunities to try you. That is bare minimum effort. Praying for you is not a sexual activity. It should not direct you to give him sex. Praying for you is a simple act of service. Just say, thank you, babe, for praying for me. I really appreciate it. I appreciate a man praying for you because that shows initiative. That shows that he cares about you. That shows he wants to cover you. But none of that should translate into, oh my God, what? That man pray for you? Oh, he love you. Girl, yes, treat him nice. Go make him some food. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Someone else's acts of service does not translate to your acts of service as well. You don't have to relay the same energy to someone else's acts of service. Not at all. Not one bit. Not one bit. Nothing says that you are obligated to also repay the same acts of service at all. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So there should not be any type of guilt trip when a man does something for you to reciprocate that same acts of service. So, and on top of that, the last key takeaway from this interview that I gotten was that intimacy is built without sex. Because intimacy applies the 5 love languages. The 5 love languages are words of affirmation, where you affirm your partner all the time, that you tell them that you are appreciative of them, and you compliment them all the time because that is the nice thing to do. Number 2, physical touch. Touch is a part of our 5 senses as a human being, so you have to touch your partner. It doesn't have to be sexually. You can give them a hug. You can scratch their hair, scratch their back, give them a rub down, rub their feet, give them a massage, or put lotion on them, shave their head, shave their legs, stuff like that. Physical touch, where you guys are laying up on the couch together, that is physical touch. Okay, skin to skin, physical touch. Number 3, time. You have to spend quality time. You have to spend time with each other. That means going out on dates, being around each other, sleeping in the same bed together, traveling together, going on trips, vacations. You have to spend time together, go on dates once a week. Quality personal time, like nobody else matters. It's between you and them. Not a group setting, not a church activity. It's you and your partner only. That is what quality time means. Not you and them kids. It's you and your partner only. Number 4, it is gifts. Gifts are a part of the human life. That is something that we do to each other to show that we care. Gifts is normal. You should not be ashamed. You should not feel ashamed to ask for gifts. That is a normal part of life that we do to each other as human beings, as a human race. We give gifts for the most simplest things. We give gifts for birthdays. We give gifts for anniversaries, weddings, baby showers. We give gifts just for getting a promotion at work. We give gifts just for potlucks. A potluck is a gift-giving activity because I, in my own home, chose to create this meal to give to y'all to eat and be merry amongst each other. That is a gifting activity. There's white elephant at work where we give gifts to each other for Christmas. Thanksgiving is a gift-giving activity because we all brought up food together and we all ate and be merry. That is a part of human life. So don't feel bad to say to your partner, hey, I like gifts. Gifts makes me happy. Gifts brings me joy. When you give me something, it makes me happy because why? It lets me know that I was in your mind and you thought of me and you thought of making me smile and you give me a gift. It is perfectly normal to want to accept gifts from your partner. Don't let no man tell you that you are a gold digger for wanting gifts. Okay? Gifts can be as small as flowers, chocolate, a bear, a trip to Jamaica, some necklaces, some really nice earrings, some shoes, or all the above, all in one setting. It doesn't matter. Gifts are gifts. You should be fine with receiving gifts from your partner and also give gifts as well. Okay? And the last one is acts of service. When you love your partner, you want to build that intimacy with them, you do stuff for them. It is absolutely okay to do stuff for your partner. Acts of service show that you care. Acts of service can be as small as changing my tire, as small as cooking me breakfast, as small as watching the kids for me, as small as vacuuming the house. and that gives me less work to do. As small as booking us a trip, taking care of the itinerary so I don't have to worry about it. Those are all acts of service. Okay? When you do things to lighten the load of your partner, that is an act of service. That is love. So all of these 5 languages build intimacy between the two of you as a partner in a relationship. Okay? So none of the stuff I mentioned was sex. Sex is a bonus. I want to be perfectly clear. Sex is a bonus. These 5 things I just went through is the base of building intimacy in your relationship. Sex is a bonus. Sex is just like cherry on top. It is not the base of your relationship to build intimacy upon. And what happens when a lot of men don't take the time to build the intimacy through these love languages? They do it through manipulation. They do it through sex and manipulation, because half of them only knows their penis is the way to get the woman addicted. Wonder why? Because sex is a spiritual act. Now, the problem becomes where the woman becomes addicted to the man through sex is because he's trying to manipulate her through sex, right? Because it's a spiritual act. And anytime a man has sex with a woman, we have an energy exchange. And if that man has the spirit of manipulation in him, that is why a lot of women's lives start going bad. If that man has terrible spirits within him, that is going to latch onto the woman, and that will create all kinds of chaos in that woman's life. Your money start acting funny. Your job, people at your job will start acting funny out of nowhere because now you have his spirit upon your life. Nothing works out for some women because they are attached to a particular man, because that man's spirit is attached to you now. And the more often you have sex with him, the more that spirit get attached to you. This is why some women, they are with some men and they cannot get pregnant. They lose the baby because it's not meant to be. God is not allowing it to happen because your spirit and that man's spirit is fighting. It's not meant to be. So a lot of times that, like, your life, when you get with someone, your life start going bad, you got to start paying attention. And if that man hits you enough, he start beating your ass. He start putting hands on you. Not only he's manipulating you through sex, he has bad energy that he's lashing onto you, and your life start getting bad. If he hates you enough, he'll start putting hands on you. And this is why we have to leave immediately at the moment of those simple signs that he hates you and he tries to manipulate you through sex. Intimacy is not manipulation. Intimacy is not sex. If a man is only offering you sex, that means he doesn't know what intimacy is. He doesn't know how to connect with you mentally, because what they believe in, a lot of men believes that just connecting with you through sex should be enough. Yes, women get attached to a man with sex because it is a spiritual act. We feel connected through sex because we're exchanging bodily fluids. But with exchanging bodily fluids, it is not enough to sustain. This is why some women feel like, oh my God, why do I keep staying with this man knowing mentally she's not happy? This is why men be upset that, oh my God, she divorced him because she was not happy. Yes, because intimacy is built mentally. Intimacy is not built sexually. The sex could be great. You could lay the pipe down real good, but if you're not intimate at all mentally with a woman, she will not be happy, because happiness is up here in the mind. Happiness is up in the mindset. It's up in the brain. The brain manages the entire body. But because some men are taught to deal with their penis only and not with their mind, they only think just sex should be enough. Because sex tends to manage the body in a way that the brain doesn't. But it is at a lower scale than the mind manages the body. So they feel like, well, because I'm doing sex brings endorphins, and that's one of the hormones that the woman has. The bodily hormones, the women hormones helps through sex. However, we have what, like four other hormones in our body, and two of them are mentally done. It's not enough. It's not enough at all. So I'm saying all this to say this. You have to build intimacy without sex. And if a man is not willing to build intimacy without sex with you, it is not worth it. If you are with someone right now and you only feel like he sees you all the time just for sex, there is nothing more. You have to let that man go, because he doesn't feel the need to connect with you in any type of way. If he only sees you for sex, you are in a situationship. You have to let that man go, because he doesn't want to connect you with anything else. And a man knows if he connects with you outside of sex within 175 days, he will know if you are marriage material. 175 days on average, that's about 6 months. Within 6 months, he would know if you are marriage material. But however, he will only know that if he actually connects with you mentally and not just sexually. He has to do the work. So it is in our job as a woman to make the man connect with us mentally. We have to force him. We have to force the man to connect with us in all the other 5 languages. Otherwise, it is a waste of time. You have to force him. And if by chance, while you forcing him to connect with you in all the other 5 languages that will build intimacy with you guys, if he's giving you any pushback while you are trying to make him connect with you mentally, let him go. It's not worth it. You to force a man to connect with you with the 5 love languages, meaning like you have to close your legs for as long as possible. Close your legs as long as possible to make him connect with you mentally. The more you hold out, the better it is for you. Because you don't make a man fall in love with you sexually. You make him fall in love with you mentally. And that means spending more time together. That means going on more dates. That means making him give you gifts. That means making him do stuff for you. That means making him small acts of physical touch, which can mean cuddling, which can mean a foot massage, which can mean him washing your hair. Oh my God. Make a man wash your hair for you. Oh my God. That is such a beautiful time. Make a man wash your natural hair. Make a man shower you. Like when you're in the shower, don't just have sex in the shower. Like make him shower you. Like make him lather you up. It is such a beautiful, intimate time. Make a man wash your hair or wash his hair and see how much you guys connect in a different way. Make him scratch your scalp. Scratch his back. You know, those small acts of physical touch, make him do stuff for you, acts of service. You know what I've learned over the years? And write this down. You need to make the man feel useful. Give him things to do. You have to give men things to do. Otherwise, they don't take you serious. You have to give them stuff to do. because they like to feel useful. Make them useful. So if you have stuff around the house that need to be fixed, call him. Do not be afraid to ask for help. Make him work. They like to feel useful. Make him work. If he wants to cook for you, let him cook for you. Let him do stuff for you. They love that. Make him mow the lawn. Make him wash your car. They want to feel useful. Give them stuff to do. Men like being useful. Make them feel useful because that's what they like. There's nothing wrong with that. And you know why? The more he does for you, the more he's going to want to be around you because it makes him feel good for one to do stuff for you. And a second, it also makes him feel good that you need him. Even if you don't. Even if you can carry your own groceries. Make him go shopping with you. Force him. Make him leave the house to go shopping with you. Give him stuff to do. Give him tasks. Give him things to do. And see how well he does. And how it makes him happy to do stuff for you. Because they like it. They want to feel useful. Make them useful. The last thing you want is a useless man. So make him mow the lawn. Make him wash the car. Make him find a way to fix the garage. Make him use his tool belt. Always have something you want fixed around the house. I don't care what it is. Break something. Make him fix it. You ever seen these wives who always have stuff that's broken in the house and the man is always doing something to fix the house? Give him stuff to do. Tell him oh my God, babe, I think the roof is leaking. Go up on the roof. Go see what that is. Give him stuff to do. I don't know how you women be so afraid to make them do stuff for you. Make him do stuff. Make him useful. The last thing you should be afraid of is to ask them to do stuff for you. They will. If they like you enough, they will. If they say no, just be okay with that. And that's fine. Acts of service is a love language. If the man doesn't want to do any acts of service for you, it's okay. There will be another one that will do it for you. If a man doesn't want to spend time with you, which is quality time, which is a love language, let him go. There will be another that will spend time with you. If a man doesn't want to give you gifts, which is a love language, as a human being, because we do that period amongst each other for birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, graduation, any type of important activity, we give gifts to each other. So gifting is a part of life. So if a man doesn't want to give you gifts, it's okay. Let him go. Okay? If a man doesn't want to spend time with you without sex, let him go too. Because all he thinks about is sex. He has no penis discipline. That means he'll cheat on you too. If he cannot control himself while he's with you, that means he cannot control himself while he's with other women out there. So you cannot trust him. If he has no penis discipline while he's around you, the woman that he claims that he likes, not just love, he likes, because there's a difference between a man liking you and a man loving you. They can say they love you, but they have to like you too. They have to like being around you. So if a man likes being around you, and if he cannot control himself for more than 2 hours without having sex with you, he has no penis discipline. Beware of the man. Every time he's around you, he want to fuck you. Meaning, if he's not around you, and you home alone, I don't know, like y'all live together yet, you're not married yet, but y'all together in a relationship, and he's not around you, and he's elsewhere, he has no discipline when he's around you, I promise you he will not have the discipline around other women. He will sleep with them too. Okay? I don't make the rules. That's just what it is. If he cannot control himself while he's around you, he's definitely not gonna control himself around other women. He's gonna sleep with them too. All right. And the last thing is what I said, quality time, physical touch. If wait, that was physical touch. What am I missing? I said acts of service, quality time, gifting. Oh, the last one, words of affirmation. If your man has an issue with affirming you, let him go. Affirming can be just as simple as giving you compliments, pouring into you, telling you, babe, I am so proud of you. Oh my God, you did such a great job. This food is delicious. Oh my God, babe, the house looks so nice. I appreciate what you did today. This is amazing. You look amazing. Your ass is fat in them jeans. You know, if he cannot affirm you like that, drop him. Drop him immediately. The man needs to affirm you at any given moment. Compliments are normal. Compliments are a normal human act. We compliment random strangers all the time. We compliment strangers all the time, so why can't your man compliment you? Why can't your man tell you you're pretty? For real, why can't he tell you you're pretty? If you were a man for a while now, and you listen to me ramble on tonight on this, Tuesday afternoon? It's Tuesday, right? Yeah, on this Tuesday evening, and it's been years since you've heard a compliment, a genuine compliment from your partner, you're with the wrong person. And if you voiced this to your partner, hey, I feel like you don't compliment me enough, and nothing has changed after a while, they probably don't see you that way either. If you guys been together for a while, and let's say like you done had a couple kids for him, and you're not feeling your best anymore, or you don't look the same, chances are he may not even see you the same way he saw you before, but at least find out how he views you. Find out how he sees you. If he cannot affirm you, because words of affirmation is a form of a love language. How a person speaks to you, which is a form of the five senses, because that's speaking, okay? Speaking, using your mouth, auditory level, that is one of our five senses. If he cannot affirm you, speak life into you, you should not be with that person. And all five of those things that I just went through is what is necessary to build intimacy. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And honey, I am rarely wrong. All right, I am rarely wrong. So, as a part of this message for today, I'm so glad I was able to review this interview with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant and Pastor Jamal Bryant / Dr. Jamal Bryant. It was very insightful in general. I didn't have too many, bad takeaways from there, but I gave you a couple of my takeaways tonight for the past 10 minutes. I will probably review some more stuff in the next coming weeks, but tonight was great. I appreciate those who came in tonight. Excuse me. If you can, please like this live, share, comment your opinions if you're watching afterwards, and be sure to subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys in the next one. All right. Thank you guys. Have a great night. Again, choose someone who chooses you. Choose someone who wants to be intimate with you. Choose someone that wants to be with you because they want to connect with you mentally and not sexually through manipulation. Okay. The last thing you want is to be with someone who has bad spirits and connect those bad spirits through you. And you stuck for 8 years and never been married, and you just don't know why. Why? Because this man hates you. The man hates you. The man hates you for years, and you just don't know why. Because you stuck. Because you keep sleeping with him. You keep sleeping with someone who hates you, and that's why you stuck. Okay? This is why women become celibate, to release that energy from those partners who hate them. Okay? This is why being celibate is important, because it is that time for you to release all those negative energies that your past partners put on you. Because you never know which partner hates you, but yet you're receiving those energies and connecting them to your body. This is why some women lose all kinds of weight when they leave a relationship, because they're releasing all that dead weight. They are releasing all that bad energy. They are releasing all that negative energy that the man kept putting inside of them, because every time they have sex, they release that negative energy inside of them. This is why some women gain 100 pounds when they are with some people. This is why some men get mad and be like, oh my God, why didn't you lose all that weight when I was with you? Negro, because you were my bad luck. That's why I was fat with you, because you were bad luck. You ever realize like your money just get better when somebody leaves your life? Like you have a promotion out of nowhere. You ever saw that happens? Like all of a sudden, like the dark cloud just went away once you leave a particular relationship. All of a sudden, like money just start pouring in. More people start calling you for clients. You know, the dark cloud is gone. Don't get mad when you see that lady level up after a relationship, because you were bad luck, friend. You were the bad luck in a relationship. That's why they level up after you. You were the problem. Okay? That's why some women, they get prettier after some relationship. And in some cases, in relationships, some women get prettier because they're being loved on the right way. If a woman is happy, healthy, not fat, like she gets skinnier in a relationship, that means she's more than likely being loved on properly. If you see a married woman, she has no crow's feet. She has no she has really nice fine laugh lines. Like she looks healthy. Like her face is not dry. Like her skin is rejuvenated. Like she doesn't look stressed. Like she look like she has a subscription to a massage parlor every week. That's a woman that's being loved on properly. Like she look fed. Like her soul is happy. That's how you know she has a good man in her life. And it's very rare to see those type of women. It's either they're happy in a relationship, or the woman just get bigger, or she get more frustrated in a relationship, and then after they broke up, she turned her life around. Like she moved out of the apartment they were living at. She lost 20 pounds, or she lost 50 pounds, and she got a better job. She went back to school. She got her degree. Like life just gets better once you leave someone who was not ever meant to be in your life. I don't know who this message is for. This live was done 30 minutes ago. I just keep talking, but I'm just saying, like, if you truly listening to what I'm saying tonight, like, for real, sometimes you're just with the wrong person. Do not allow life to really hold you down because you have allowed years to fly by, and you just wake up and you're like, wait, what just happened? How long was I in this fog? Baby, you've been in this fog because you keep sleeping with a man who hates you. I truly feel like women who's been in a relationship for at least 2 to 5 to 10 years and never married, it is because you have been sexually transmitted demon inside of you that never released you until you got the courage to leave. It takes a while to wake up, and I understand that. However, a way that these demons keep you is through sex. And when a man who hates you sleep with you all the time, his negative energy latch on to you. And I'm going to keep repeating this so it makes sense. His energy is going to latch on to you. And when his energy latch on to you, you are being kept in captivity because you are in the sex fog. Okay? Mind you, the ladies always say, good sex come with ain't shit niggas. Okay? Good sex come with ain't shit niggas who never have anything to offer because their manipulation is through sex. Their bodily fluids attached to your bodily fluids. And the more it seeps into your DNA, you start attaching to him. This is why they say, like, a woman cannot have multiple sex partners because it's a DNA attachment to the body. Too many DNAs makes a confused woman. Very confused woman. You cannot have that many sexual partners. Too many DNAs, that means you have too many personalities inside of you. You have too many personalities inside of you that's attached to you, so you should only have one. And even if the one DNA that you keep having sex with, if his DNA is attached to trauma, manipulation, lack of energy, laziness, he has no leadership skills, he has no initiative, guess what? You're gonna start having the same thing. You're gonna start feeling low energy. You're gonna start feeling like you have no initiative. You're gonna start being more lazy. You're gonna start feeling the same thing that he has, all those traumatic. All of a sudden, like, you start getting mad for no reason because the nigga always mad himself. You ever find yourself just mad as hell just because you're like, why am I so angry? Because your man is angry and you keep messing with him. Choosing the right partner matters. I can understand how some of these red pillars be like, you need to choose better. You need to choose better. You need to choose better. Actually, you do. You do need to choose better. So this is why I don't believe women should have sex with men who smoke weed, because smoking weed comes with his own problems. Self-medicating is a problem. You are a reflection of your partner, ladies. You really are a reflection of your partner. And this truly means whatever your partner has within them, it's going to attach to you. And the last thing you want is to attach yourself to a loser who have nothing going on. Do not feel bad for being labeled a gold digger. You know why? Because usually gold diggers look for men who are motivated. They look for men who have things to offer. They look for men who takes initiative. They look for men who has leadership qualities. They look for men who are go-getters. They look for men who are going to provide. Nothing wrong with that. Discernment should be at an all-time high for women. And that means sexually, that means monetarily, that means physically, that means mentally, that means in habits. Watch out for the man's habits. Do the habits that he have correlate to someone that is a proper husband material? Does he work 2 jobs? Does he work 1 job? Does he go to the gym? Does he take care of his body? Does he eat right? Does he eat anything? Does he smoke weed all the time? Is he lazy? Does he lay down and don't go to work all the time? Does he make excuses? All of these things matter. All of those things matter, because if he makes excuses all the time, if he's not like someone who get on his feet and do what he needs to do to make it work, he's going to be a lazy husband. Next thing you know, you're going to be the breadwinner like Dr. Cheyenne Bryant was in this 8-year relationship. This lady went to work, was the breadwinner, and went to school and got 4 degrees while in school. While in a relationship for 8 years, he was lazy. So don't be like that, okay? Ask questions. Ask all kinds of questions of these men. Ask all the questions in the world, because what happened is you don't want to be stuck with someone that you don't want to be stuck with. And that's the worst thing you could do, is to be stuck with a man and they lead you down to the water and you can't drink it because the water is disgusting. All right. So it's been 2 hours and 40 minutes. I gotta go. This was a great live tonight, and I will see you guys next time. All right. Have a great night. Thank you so much. See you in the next live. Bye.